Welcome back with a smiling face. Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Wolves of Shadowed Fate. Episode 10. Chapter 54 to 59. Raven's POV. I was sleeping peacefully when a loud growl filled the room. My eyes flew open, and I am scared. Scared for my baby, as I need to protect us. My hand protectively moves to cover my stomach. I see Brandon standing at the door, and I am so happy to see him. I feel a hand in mine, and see that Justin had stayed with me the whole night. Dad had told me that I would not be alive if it hadn't been for him. I am really grateful to him. He saved me and my pup, and for that, I am willing to forgive him for what he did. Now that my anger has lessened, he seemed to have been a victim in a lot of this whole thing too. I don't think any of us were prepared to see exactly how far Reagan was actually willing to go. Simone showed me the video last night while Justin was gone to take a shower and change clothes. His parents are joining my dad's pack, and I was okay with that too. None of them had ever tormented me. They were the only exceptions in Silver Blade, and Dad seemed relieved about that. They had packed Justin some clothes too, so he came back in fresh clothes, and thankfully didn't smell like Reagan anymore. I was going to have to talk to him about a few things, but for right now, I needed to speak to Brandon. Before I can open my mouth to tell Brandon to calm down, Justin is up, and now standing protectively in front of me. This did not make Brandon happy, and I knew it wouldn't. I need to speak to each of them, privately. They were going to argue every step of the way if I didn't, and right now I cannot take the added stress. I will not allow them to cause me to lose my baby, because of their pride. Justin, can you give us some time to talk, please? You can go grab some breakfast for yourself, I will be okay. I just want to speak with Brandon in private, I asked Justin. I can tell from how he is standing that he is really thinking about fighting with Brandon, and he doesn't need to do that. He is still holding my hand, and that seems to be the catalyst for Brandon being upset. Justin, just give us 15 minutes. I will be here when you return. He releases my hand, but before he steps away from me he asked, would you like anything from the dining room? I can see that he is fighting with his wolf, who does not want him to leave me alone with Brandon. I can feel the worry for my safety pouring off of him. You can bring me a coffee and a muffin back, thank you, Justin, I told him and gave him a smile. He needed to relax. Brandon won't hurt me. Do not hurt her, Brandon. I will be back, soon. I don't care if we are in a hospital, or not. If you hurt her, we will fight, Justin said as he walked past Brandon to exit the room, and deliberately bumped into his shoulder. That was not a smart move. Brandon is an alpha, and does not like to be disrespected. He had already turned around and taken a step to go outside with Justin now. I have to intervene. Brandon, I called out to him softly, and he froze in his steps, came back into my room, closed the door behind him, and walked up to my bed. He looks bad. His hair is a mess, and he clearly hasn't slept. I feel bad for him, as the bond is telling me exactly what he is feeling. But he didn't care about what I was feeling yesterday, he needs to know what he did yesterday. He came to the side of my bed and kissed the top of my head, and then bent down to take in a deep breath at my neck. He seemed to relax a little at that time. He walked to the other side of my bed and I was sure he didn't want to sit in Justin's chair. He sat down and motioned to my hand, to ask permission, and I nodded at him. I was still angry at him. I have not forgiven him. What he said to me was disgusting and incorrect. He would not listen to reason, and it showed in the type of faith he had in me, which was clearly not much. I am so sorry, baby. I am ashamed of what I said to you last night. I am sorry for pulling my arm back from you like that. I didn't mean for you to fall. But I was so upset, I mean, she looked exactly like you. I can show you the video, I swear that I thought it was you, Raven, I am so sorry. I thought that having seen it, right there in front of me, it was true. I was wrong. Stella straightened us all out. She and Lane are disappointed in us too. I cannot help the jealousy I felt. I love you, you are my mate, and I got crazy jealous. I saw how much love he had for you, Justin believed it was you too, it was clear in the video. His every touch, everything he did, showed how much he truly cared for you. That did it for me, it broke my heart to see you two together. It seemed like you had betrayed me the same way that Liza did, and I was so angry that I just couldn't see the truth Brandon told me and then buried his head in my legs. Letting go of my hand and then hugging my legs tightly. I can tell he is being honest, but that is not the problem. I know you love me, Brandon, but it is now clear to me that you don't trust me. You want me to trust you completely when there are girls at Blackadder that are still after you since I arrived. They have never stopped their pursuit. Stella told me about the viral video, about how the girls were coming on to you as a way to get back at me for cheating on you. The thing is, Brandon, you never shut them down. You announced me as Luna, but your fan club still gathers daily, to watch you guys train. Stella and I are jealous women, we know you love us, but it seems like you have a set of rules for you, and a set of rules for me. You know I had been hurt too, I have trust issues too. I have seen a few instances in training where they are pretending not to get it just to get you to put your hands on them, to show them. Still, I left it alone. Do you know why, Brandon? I asked him, and I can see by the guilt on his face, he knew exactly where I was going with this. But I don't think he does yet. That I didn't trust you, he said in a low voice. Not entirely, it is that you can do whatever you want, and I need to get over it. That you can still be admired and hit on and I still need to trust you about it. I had given you a pass because I didn't feel it, the betrayal pains. Believe me, once you feel them, you will remember them. That was what I was trying to ask you, when you jerked your arm back, causing me to lose my balance. I could have lost our baby. Our innocent child who has done nothing to anyone could have lost their life yesterday because you didn't trust me enough to listen to me for 1 minute to ask you that. You kept trying to leave me at the door, and I just wanted to ask you that. It just took me a second, because at first, I honestly didn't know what you were accusing me of. Then when I heard you call me AWE, I figured it out. I told him. I saw him flinch when he heard the word. I imagine he had been up all night sick about what he has said to me. You know I didn't mean that, I was just acting out of rage and anger, Brandon told me, and I feel his pain increase through the bond. He knew he really screwed up, but he is not telling me that he is going to change anything. I hope he is hearing what I am saying to him. I know that you didn't truly mean it, I knew why you said it, you were hurt and lashing out. But people heard what you said to me like you believed that video, and people gossip. I don't know if I can go back there with everyone having such a low opinion of me. One that you had given them, as you believed it, without allowing me to defend myself. If you had stood by me, and believed in me, we could have gotten through it faster, together. You did the same thing to me that I have had to live with my whole life. You assumed I had no value to you, after seeing that video. That I was now worthless and didn't want me anymore. You believed a lie, and now that you know it was a lie, you want me to just forgive you. Without trust, what happens the next time? Or the next? Will you be able to sit down and talk it out? That is what I asked for yesterday, and all three of you refused to listen to us. I think that in some way, you had to actually believe that I was capable of doing such a thing. Like with your groupies, let them hang on. Why? Is it because you need a backup, in case I mess up? Having options just in case because I am no longer what you really wanted, I told him. I can see how upset he is vehemently shaking his head no, but that is what it felt like to me. I just need to get this all out now because he really wants to tell me I am wrong, but am I? This is how I feel. How he can tell me how I need to feel, that I am mistaken about it. Just because you don't believe it right now, Brandon, what came out of your mouth yesterday after seeing the video, was something you were thinking. I am as hurt by your words, as I was when I fell. You wrote me off, right then. You were in so much pain you didn't want to add the rejection to it. But we both know that you were planning on coming and doing it later on, right? You had all my stuff all packed up. You were cutting me loose before I could say a word to defend myself. You saw me laying there on the ground, carrying your pup, bleeding and hurt. Instead of just putting me in another room to investigate the video, or to give yourself time to calm down to listen to reason, you just got rid of me, I told him, and I can feel the tears running down my face. We both knew what he was probably going to do, and that hurts the most. That someone who said they loved you, wouldn't listen to your side of the story. Despite the fact that you have witnesses to the fact that you were innocent of what you were being accused of. No, baby. I was never ever planning to reject you. I was angry and hurt. I flew into a rage and I was scared I was going to end up hurting you. Yes, I f'd up with packing your stuff up, but that was a miscommunication. I told Truett I wanted you to leave, and he assumed, with all your stuff, he didn't realize that I just meant until I calmed down. Sending you away was for your own safety, baby. I was so angry, and I just didn't correct it when I saw your bags. I will die without you, Raven, I will do anything to keep you. Do you not realize that an alpha seeing that kind of video, about his mate, 9 times out of 10 would kill? I wanted to, I was barely hanging on, but Axe was refusing to do it. I think in the back of his head he knew that there was something wrong with the whole thing, we just didn't know what it was. Stella pointed out to me last night that was exactly what Reagan wanted me to do, was kill you. Baby, I love you and trust you, but I am telling you, I swear that it looked like you in the video. Between that, and the fact that Justin still clearly loves you, it was the very worst day of my life. I will make sure this doesn't happen again. I am going to attack Silver Blade. I am not going to wait for approval from the council. This almost cost me my mate and my pup, and that cost is way too high. I am going to end your sister myself, so we don't have to ever go through something like this again. Brandon was begging me. I can see he was telling me the truth, and I am able to calm down. I was so worried that he was planning on rejecting me, and that was going to play into my decision. If he had been going to reject me, I was going to make him do it now. I was in the clear as far as the pup was concerned, the baby was fine. They were releasing me later on today by noon. I need to think of a plan, as I have heard about how the video is making the rounds. It is even showing in the human world now, as it just keeps getting shared. It is embarrassing to think that people are believing that it is me. I feel humiliated, and I am not going to take this one, and not pay her back. I am going to announce to the world that it was not me, and I will be doing that soon. Brandon, I am willing to come back with you. But we need to talk about something else. As you said, you saw Justin and his emotions in the video. I need you to stay calm in this. But I will need to talk to him as well when he gets back in here. I am going to need time alone, with him too, I told Brandon. As long as it is to tell him that you and he are done, I am good with that, Brandon told me, and I can tell from his crossed arms and the huff that he gave when I asked him, that he was not going to cooperate with me on this. We need to talk as well, Brandon, before he gets back. I don't know what is going on with me and Justin either. But when you woke me up growling the place down, I felt it, I felt the tingles on the hand that Justin was holding. I need to see if he feels it too. I know that the goddess had broken our bond. But it looks like she is giving it back to us, for some reason. I cannot explain it, I didn't ask for it. I don't know how and it is possible, but I know what Dad told me. He said that Justin told him to slow down, and where to stop it. My SUV was buried, it was blocked by shrubs and small trees. Dad told me that as fast as he was driving to get to me, he would have never seen it. They would have flown right past me. Who knows how long it would have been before they would have found me. Justin hadn't sensed me, I would have died, and so would our child. I need to talk to Dad about this and get him to check with the council because it is rare for the goddess to give a broken bond back. It has happened before, but it is exceptionally rare. I don't know what is going on, or why, but I felt it. It is the same tingles that I feel with you, I told him and waited for his reaction. I know why. I begged her every day for the last 2 months to restore it. I screwed up, badly. But I do love you, Raven. I wanted another chance with you. I don't know why she did it either unless the big bad alpha over there is planning on rejecting you or something, Justin said quietly from the door. I have never heard it open. He obviously heard everything that I just said to Brandon. I am not going to reject her. I love Raven. I will not let her go, Brandon growled out to Justin. I watch him stand up and hold my hand. I felt the tingles very strong at the contact. I am taking back my rejection, Brandon. I was forced to do it under duress anyway. I never wanted to reject Raven. I had to do it, or my family would have faced the consequences of my actions. I messed up, but I still love her. I will not be letting her go either, Justin said and walked over to put my breakfast onto the rolling table, and then he gently took my other hand, into his. I felt tingles on both of my hands. Faint on Justin's hand, they were not as strong as with Brandon, but they were definitely there. You had already lost her, Justin. Raven is mine, and you need to back off. The sooner you accept that, the happier we will all be, Brandon yelled across the bed at Justin. Well, is this the no-stress environment that you guys were supposed to be leaving Raven in? Stella said as she entered the room. She is already up to speed on what is going on as neither of them was quiet about staking their claim. I just don't know what is going on right now. I was fine with leaving Justin before, but I feel our bond growing stronger and stronger, even though Brandon has marked me. I need to get with Dad as soon as possible to figure out just what is going on now, to avoid the fight between them that I know is coming. Chapter 55 Alpha Cole's POV. I heard what Brandon had said to Raven. I am very disappointed in him, but I can also see that Regan did actually look like Raven. In fact, I had originally thought it was Raven too. If Regan put half as much effort into being a Luna, as she did in manipulating others in her disgusting plans, Silver Blade would be one of the strongest packs out there. Unfortunately for Regan, she can't seem to leave Raven alone, and we are done with giving them a pass. I have given them every opportunity to stop, and it is clear to me that we have received our answer yesterday. They will not stop, on their own. So I am going to help them out with it. They are going to pay for all their actions now. I made Brandon wait at the gate because I was in a meeting with council member Emerson. After this last attempt on Raven, I was given the approval to attack Silver Blade. I am going to, but I already have a plan in mind that I am going to follow first. I need to get everything ready, and then send my men into position. Then we will release a video to announce our intentions, and to clear Raven's name. I also need to discuss with Brandon how this needs to play out. But I know that they are both with Raven still in the hospital. I saw Raven's reaction to Justin. I know that there is something still there between them. I spoke with Emerson about that too. It is very rare for the goddess to give a redo on a bond that had been broken. He was surprised as well, especially when he found out that Justin was the one to sense Raven when we went to find her. I am understanding why he was pleading with her before. He still felt their bond. He still felt something between them. He loves her, and we need to figure this out soon, before they tried to kill each other just to have her for themselves. The council saw it the same way that I did. Reagan was trying to drive Brandon into killing her for infidelity. Everyone knows how possessive alpha males are of their mates. It was lucky that he loves her as he does. That is the only thing that ended up saving her life. Am I pissed about what happened, him pulling away from her and causing her to fall? Yes, and that discussion is far from over. But we will deal with the plans for Silver Blade first. Then clear the air. Emerson had already got the ball rolling with the council to see why the goddess had reinstated a broken bond in the past. It wasn't impossible to happen, it was just extremely rare for it to happen. He was as shocked as I was about it, and actually quite interested to know the reason why himself. I sent Stella out to the hospital, as I saw Justin heading back to the hospital with something for Raven. I knew that there was going to be a problem with two possessive men in the same room with their mate. It was not going to go well, despite what I had told them both. I was too busy to go out there myself, and I knew that Carter was about to go out there with Simone. They were in the dining room too, and I sent all three of them to go keep the peace. I need to find Timothy and get an outline of what I needed to get done with Silver Blade, and then what we needed to get done in the video that I was going to make to clear the air. Carter was taking an outfit out for Raven, and getting her checked out of the hospital as well. I can't have Brandon and Justin fighting over who was going to do it. I would not let Reagan and Graham besmirch my daughter's name. Olivia is livid, and she is ready to kill Reagan herself for what she has done. I have to admit, I wanted to do the same thing. It isn't even 9 AM, and I want to get a detailed plan out. I have a small group of my men in place already. No one will be leaving Silver Blade. They have been in place since last night, and they are all there and accounted for right now. I am sure Reagan is smart enough to know better than to leave Silver Blade. When I say all, I meant the main players, Graham, Reagan, Cheryl and her parents, and Cassandra. They were going to be the ones to pay for this. They all knew better and just wouldn't stop. I have been more than patient with them all, and I already have a plan in place for screening the pack. Raven will stay in the SUV, behind the dark tint, and link me whether or not to allow the rest of them to stay in the pack, or makes them rogues. Raven is too kind-hearted, but I believe she will know who to keep, and who to let go. I cannot allow her to come face to face with someone who hurt her. I am taking over their pack land. As their new alpha, they need to realize that I am aware of what they did to her. I understand pack mentality, ganging up on the weak. But strong people do not do that, only weak people do. Graham was weak, he didn't have the courage to do it himself, so he encouraged others to do it. I looked at the board, and I know that we are ready to get this done when Carter links me that they are all on the way to my office. He also said that he and Stella had to put Raven between them as both Justin and Brandon wanted her to just walk with one of them, and not the other. I am shaking my head as to the childishness between them and trying to figure a way out of this mess. The rejection was done correctly. He accepted it. It did originally work. Their bond broke. I know it did because I was there, I saw the pain that they were in. But it makes no sense if it broke, how he could have possibly sensed her from over 2 miles away when he first told me to slow down. If he wasn't bonded to her, he should have never sensed her. His clear affection and love for her was apparent, and frankly, I do not know what I need to do here. This is unprecedented, and I am at a loss. I know that something is there, something rare, but I'll be the first to admit that I have no idea what is at play here. I hear a knock at the office door and buzzed them in. Beta Timothy and council member Emerson were standing there and they both had funny looks on their faces. As they entered, I see Justin's dad, Randolph, entering the office behind them. I know this is going to be something, and I linked Carter back to tell them to detour to the dining room for at least 5 minutes, for coffee. He knew I just needed a few minutes before they came. My office is large. I planned it out that way. My ancestors had a large office as well, as they needed a war room to make plans, and needed space for maps, and a large number of people, in there at the same time. With technology we no longer have to do that, we can make very detailed plans on our tablets, phones, and computers. I have room for about 10 people to sit in here with me, as I have 2 couches, and a few chairs in here. I have a strong feeling that we may soon be at max capacity in here today. Sorry, gentlemen, the kids were coming, and I asked them to give us a few minutes. I told them and motioned for them to sit. Cole, I had my assistant looking into the matter at the council, discreetly, per your request from when I called him last night. The only thing that had come up to him was that Raven was a special wolf. It made sense, as specials are usually involved when the multiple mates in question are not blood-related. Usually, with twins, or multiple births occurring, they can have the same mate. One that was blessed by the goddess and given to them. In rare cases like this, it is almost undocumented how this occurred. Like it was being kept a secret almost, which makes me think that this was purely a goddess thing. Only she could do it, repair the broken bond, and clearly, they both have a bond with her. I said almost because there were actually 2 documented cases in the last 200 years. In those cases, the female had already been marked by her mate, when the second mate found her. Both cases had noted that the process of this additional mate didn't go smoothly between the males. Emerson started off, and from the sounds of it, I am not going to like where this is going. I scented my mate outside the door and gave Emerson the 1-minute sign with my finger and then buzzed my mate in. I am going to need her. Olivia immediately comes over to me, sits on my lap, and then snuggles into my chest. I can tell that Randolph was glad for her arrival, as he is still very nervous. He is new to the pack, and his son is directly involved in this. I can see where he would be greatly stressed at how this is going to play out. I am stressed too, so I can understand his feelings. I am sorry, please continue, Emerson, I told them and then dipped my head down to take in a deep breath from Olivia's neck. I have a feeling that I will need to be able to stay calm for this one. In these documented cases the female had been accepted by her mate, not rejected, like in Raven's case. But there were some extenuating circumstances with Justin, as we all know. While my assistant was working on the research there at the council office this morning, I had a thought. I went looking for Randolph to get a few questions answered, as I had a few suspicions. Justin is a strong wolf, but he is much calmer than Brandon. After a small discussion I had my assistant check the bloodlines of the 2 reported cases, and the bloodlines, although distant, both traced back to King Lycon, who formerly ruled Arcadia. He had thousands of wolves, both men and women, under his command. He created his own line of werewolves, called Sigmas. He did that because he wanted his children to have better genetics, and be stronger than the regular werewolf. Emerson told me and glanced over at Randolph for verification. Randolph gave a slight nod, and sighed, "I can feel his stress through the new pack bond. I accepted his family into the pack last night. I didn't want Graham, or Raven, to be trying to mind-link anyone in the family anymore." "So, you have alphas in your bloodline, Randolph?" I asked him. "Yes, we have had a few in our bloodline throughout our existence. That is why we are such strong betas. If I wanted to, I could have challenged Alpha Graham for his position, and won, but I have no real wish to rule or control a pack. I prefer to do my job, and train the warriors. The pack has become increasingly weaker in the last 100 years, as my family has been in that pack for a long time. Where it stands now is not worthy of even being called a pack," Randolph told me, and my mouth twitched in amusement. I really like Randolph so far. "So, you say that Justin is a Sigma. What does that mean in layman's terms?" I looked back at Emerson. "I need to try to understand this. A Sigma wolf, although not as widely known as an alpha is, are equal to each other and contain many common characteristics. They are both possessive of their mates, confident and strong, and want to be successful. The main difference between them is their thoughts on ranking. The Sigma is usually more introverted and doesn't feel the need for accolades, or want to run a pack. They are content with not having control, and just doing what they like, more than being in a structured environment. He will be just as strong as an alpha, he is just going to be calmer, and less reactive, than an alpha. The obvious exception to that would be his mate. That is where he would be willing, and able, to take a stand. This could end up very bad for both of them, if we don't sit them down, and speak to them. Clearly, for whatever reason, the goddess set this trio up. There has to be a purpose for it. I will continue to look into it, and I reached out to a few senior elders that I know. They know to just get back with me about this, not anyone else. They are some of the oldest werewolves around, and they trained under their former elders. They have information that I am not even privy to, so hopefully, they will find something else. I just know of the 2 cases I cited to you that were documented, but as I said, there were more exceptions throughout our heritage, they just were not documented," Emerson told us, and we all heard the knock at the door. "The kids are here." I buzzed the door open and they came into my office, quietly, one at a time, with Brandon trying to have Raven sit on the end of the couch. He was going to sit next to her, to keep her separated. I see his effort to keep Justin away from her, and I can feel the anger that Justin has toward Brandon. They are both angry, and very jealous of each other. This will not end well for either of them. I need to put a stop to it right now. "Brandon, please just allow Raven to sit between you and Justin, we all need to talk. We have some new information, and then we will discuss how we will go forward from here. From the looks of what we know right now, Brandon, Raven is mated to you both," I told him, and his growl shakes loose from his chest as he refuses to budge from his spot. Justin gives an answering growl back to him, and thankfully Raven is there to step between them and stop the fight that is about to erupt. Raven puts a hand on each of the men's chests and both of them calmed down, but they were both glaring at each other. Stella and Lainey both stepped in to stop Truett and crew from joining in on Brandon's behalf. Carter and Austin were both there to back up Raven. Beta Timothy and Randolph were ready to help Justin, to keep everything fair. This is about to be a free-for-all, right here in my office. I am going to have to stop this, so I put Olivia down, and rose from my chair. What did I just say? Stop it right now. This will get us nowhere. Please just take your seats, and settle down. There is no reason to fight in here, and we don't have room for it. We need to focus on our real enemy first, Silver Blade, and then deal with the rest of it. Justin did not do this to hurt you, Brandon, he had no control over what the moon goddess allowed. Now stop, and calm yourself. We will get to all of it, and I still need you all to stay calm and listen to what I have to say. We have a lot to do in a little time, and I need all of you to settle down and listen to me and Council Member Emerson. We need to make our own video, to get things straight, and to let Silver Blade know that they are done. The Council granted us permission for war, and I need to get us all on the same page. The first thing we have to do is make up a united front. Make our own video, and let everyone know exactly who was in that first video. I will not allow Graham, or Reagan, to hurt Raven ever again. I wanted them dead in the next 24 hours. So everyone take a seat, and listen. We have no time to lose, I told them, and everyone quietly took a seat. To save space, Truett, Crew, and Carter sat on the one sofa, with their mates on their laps. Olivia got back in mine, Emerson and Beta Timothy sat in the chairs in front of my desk, and Raven sat between Justin and Brandon. Austin took up a spot on the end of her couch and watched them each take hold of her hand, and that started to glare at the other. I rolled my eyes. This was going to be like nailing Jell-O to the wall, absolutely impossible. I felt bad for both of them. I know how possessive that I am over Olivia, but they both had been given Raven as a mate. We will have to find a way for them to get along, or this is going to be a really long meeting today. I let Emerson go back over what we had learned so far. Even Justin had not known about this, it only came up during the course of Emerson having this looked into. I watch as the stunned silence fills the room, and some of the anger calms down. I could see why they would be so upset. Brandon had marked and mated her, but Justin had been her mate too. I can see how they knew how stressful and frustrating. I hope that we can get this planned out, as I now stood up to tell them what I wanted to do. I wanted them to be able to get along long enough for us to get this done. I wanted Graham to feel the stress of the impending doom, to know that tomorrow, I will do what I said, and take his life. I warned him numerous times, and yet both he, and his daughter, continued to hurt Raven, over and over again. I have a special something for Reagan, that I am sure she will love. They have gone too far, and tomorrow I will be dealing with them all. Chapter 56 Justin's POV. I don't know fully what is going on yet. It seems like Alpha Cole just took up for me, when he made Brandon put Raven in the middle of us, instead of allowing him to keep her from me. I was willing to fight to be near her, and she stepped between us to stop us. I can be calm, as long as I can touch her, and holding her hand is good enough for me right now. I was only really half listening as I was glaring back at Brandon during some of the meeting. He is pissed off, and that only makes me happier. He thinks that she is just his, but I know what I felt. I know that Raven felt them too. I heard what she said to Brandon. He can hate this all he likes, but this was over both of our heads. The goddess did this, I know she did. I begged her for another chance and she is giving it to me. I will not mess up again. I know that I screwed up before, but Brandon did too. I could hear the hurt in her voice last night when we talked before she fell asleep. It looks like we are both on even ground now. I bet that is killing him. That does make me happy. My dad nudged me to pay attention, and I could see Alpha Cole watching both of us glaring at each other. I don't need to get caught being disrespectful, or not listening to what he just told us. So I did tune back into what was being said. I don't even know what a Sigma Wolf is. Never heard of one, don't really care about it either. So, I tuned out again. I knew that Raven was pregnant. After they got her stabilized last night, she was put on a fetal heart monitor to check on the baby. I was sad that the pup wasn't mine, but maybe one day she will carry my pup too. I am just happy that she is safe, and that I might just be allowed back into her life. I will take that for now, and be happy about that. It is driving Brandon crazy that I am even here, so that is a win for me. His condescending attitude toward me pisses me off. He needs to lose some of it before we really do tangle, because I can take a lot of things, but for Raven, I will show him I am no pushover. He thinks he can easily beat me, and I cannot wait to let him know that it won't be as easy as he thinks it will. I won't just give Raven to him, I am willing to fight for her to be mine. Alpha Cole stands up and clears his throat. I would like to make a response video. In it, there will be a total of 4 people. I will speak first and let Graham know that I have them cut off, and no one will be leaving his pack. That we are officially at war. His family will be staying there. The Sullivan and Peters families will no longer be allowed to come up with another plan for anyone else. I then need you two. Alpha Cole stops and points at me and Brandon, to get along for the entire video. We need to show a united front. I will tell them that it was Reagan in the video with Justin, not Raven, and that we have proof. Raven will stand up and turn around with her arms up to show that she doesn't have a mole on her side, like in the video. That is the reason she is in her sports training outfit, so everyone can see in a live video that it wasn't her. I will then come back on and tell them about how desperate Reagan was to make Raven look bad that she did this. Alpha Cole stopped and looked around the room, all eyes were on him, and he nodded at us all. He went and got a map out, and it had markings on it, and it was the area outside Silver Blade, with X's noted at certain points around their pack. This is where we are currently set up. I also have 2 teams heading there now. They will be relieving the teams that have been there the last 8 hours. Silver Blade did not know that they were being watched. I am increasing the perimeter now because when we announce war, they are going to want to leave the pack. I am not allowing anyone to leave Silver Blade. I want to make the video, and with the information that we know now, I am okay with announcing that Raven has been given 2 mates, instead of 1. I will have council member Emerson give the quick version of it, including that the bond had been rejected, and then was repaired by the goddess. I don't want people talking badly about Raven. None of us chose this to happen. Honestly, it is almost unheard of, which is why I am having Emerson do that part himself. He has the documentation on it. I want to get this announced for several reasons. I am sending this video out to all the packs, just like Graham did. I need it to be just as shocking so it will go viral, just like the first video. I wanted to take the heat that is coming off of you 3, by showing that this has been blessed by the goddess. I want people to stop the horrible comments they are making about Raven. She is innocent in all this. Getting ahead of it is the only way. Finally, seeing you 3 together will hurt Reagan. She wanted to take everything from you, and the goddess prevented it. She lost, and you won, and this fact will drive her over the edge. Alpha Cole finished his talk and looked at everyone waiting for someone else to speak. I can send some men too. I can get 150 warriors here in an hour to help with the perimeter, to make sure that no one escapes. I think that it is a good idea to prevent anyone from leaving. They can also help us fight tomorrow, Brandon finally said. I have spoken to the other 2 neighboring packs to Silver Blade. They both have men stationed at the perimeter of their borders as well. That will help us to concentrate on just the main entrance in our side of their pack. I appreciate the manpower. I know that when it gets announced, they will indeed try to escape. We also need to assign who is going to take care of each one of them. We need to make a plan, so we aren't all attacking the same people, basically Regan and Graham. I am taking care of Graham, and Olivia is taking care of Cassandra. That leaves Regan and the 3 members of the Peters family. Does anyone have someone that they want to engage with? Alpha Cole asked. Regan, I will kill Regan, I told him, and he nodded at me. I am pretty sure that he expected me to say that. After that dirty trick, she pulled on me, drugging me to get me to mark her. That was bad enough, but filming me yesterday, setting me up to be killed by Alpha Cole and Brandon, she deserves this. Since he chose Regan already, I will take Cheryl. Before she dies, I need to get the name of the pack member who tipped them off that Raven was leaving the pack land. Without her doing that, this plan could not have been carried out. I will take care of Silas too, Brandon said to Alpha Cole. You just deal with Cheryl, she may not want to give up her informant so easily. I will deal with Silas. I want to get this straight as soon as possible to apologize to Raven and Stella for not trusting them. The video was bad, but it was worse that we didn't take the time to listen to our mates when they were begging us to, Truett said. I could tell he felt bad about it now, but he really hurt Raven with his true opinion of her. He is the beta, he is supposed to have faith in his Luna until she is proven to not be trustworthy. I can deal with Cheryl's mother then, whatever her name is, Stella said. No, you cannot go into the battle, Raven told her and pulled her hands from ours to reach towards Stella. Sure I can, what, you think I can't take her? Please, I was just toying with Joshua in that fight. I could have dropped him in the first round. I was just playing with him. Even if she trains, she would be no match for me, Stella stated. She is very confident, and I would really like to see her fight now. She sounds like she can do some damage. No, you can't fight for me. It will be okay, someone else will. You already fought for me. Raven breathed out in a low tone. You think just because I am pregnant, that I suddenly cannot fight? Are you serious, Raven? Stella asked, and her mate Truett froze and looked up at Stella sitting in his lap. Are you pregnant, baby? Truett asked her. Yes, but what does that have to do with it? I could probably beat her just using one arm, Stella tells him and gives a laugh. No baby, no, you can't go. It isn't safe. Why didn't you tell me? Truett asked in a reproachful tone. Did you listen to anything I said yesterday? Anything at all? With your snap judgments against us? Plus, if you knew I was pregnant, you would have tried to stay by my side, and frankly, I needed to get a night away. I needed to come and check on Raven because she could have died last night. She is my best friend, and if you knew me at all, you would have known that I don't lie. Raven doesn't either. We are learning about our mates, but it seems like you, and Brandon, are not learning about us. We need you to do better, and have the same faith in us, that we have in you, Stella told him, and she is right, but secretly I am glad that Brandon messed up. I reached out for Raven's hand again, and she allowed me to go back to holding her hand. Brandon saw what I had done and immediately picked up her hand on his side. I could barely contain my eye roll. He is super competitive, and he needs to calm down. I would have been the bad mate in this little equation. Now, we are kind of on equal footing. I was tricked into a relationship a month before I knew Raven was my mate. Yes, I found out she was my mate a few hours earlier that night, but I hadn't really made my final decision yet. I was just telling Regan what she wanted to hear like I usually do when we have S***X. I had no idea that Raven could hear me. My heart bleeds for her pain, I never meant to hurt her, I felt it that day. When she passed out, all her emotions hit me like a tank. It was why I couldn't finish with Regan. I needed to go check on Raven. The pain she felt had made me feel worthless, and like I was the most horrible mate ever. After Raven left, I didn't want to go ahead with the contract. I told Regan that very thing before I left to go find Raven. Then a few hours later the ultimatum came in from Alpha Graham. They were not joking about hurting, or banishing my family. I couldn't get the gate guards to get Raven to come to the gate at Bloodwalker for me to talk to her. I had to resign myself to not being happy for the rest of my life, or at least for the next 5 years. But I read the full contract when I got back after Alpha Graham pointed out his little clause. I made sure that I followed it to the letter, but I refused to touch Regan again. She might have been able to force me to come back, but she couldn't for me to sleep with her again. At least that part of the whole thing made me happy. Yes, getting to make Regan as unhappy as she made me, was the only thing besides texting with Raven, that had brought me joy lately. Only to find out now that it wasn't even Raven in the end. I am so going to enjoy killing Regan, and I wasn't going to make it quick either. I just hope that she didn't show up looking like Raven again because I didn't know if I could handle that. I might have to trade out with someone then. I may have to mention that to Alpha Cole because I would not be able to do it. I cannot hurt Raven ever again. Seeing her in pain from my actions was worse than the painful rejection was, and believe me, it was painful. Seeing her eyes looking at me like that, hurt by my betrayal, and her anger as she hardened her heart to me. I hurt her so much, and I just cannot do that ever again. I will make sure that I show her and Goddess willing our pups, how much I truly love them. I get to thinking about what our babies will look like until I get nudged by my dad again. I am sorry, what? I was thinking about something I said. I know exactly what you were thinking about you, and you can't have her, Brandon said and put his arm around her to pull her away from me. It doesn't seem like it is going to be up to you, Alpha, I told him, and I showed my opinion for him as I mocked his title as I said it. He doesn't intimidate me. We are evenly matched, and I will fight for my Raven. I slid over on the couch to cover the gap, as she was half pulled onto his lap, and when I slid over, she is now half on my lap too. I changed hands holding hers as I was not at a great angle right now. Do not touch her. I am warning you, I don't care what they said. I have never heard of anything like that, and I am not going to share her with someone who hurt her like you did. Goddess, you just slept with Regan yesterday. How can you say you love Raven? Brandon said, trying to make me look bad. What in? You thought it was Raven too, wasn't it you who kicked her out of your pack, with a bleeding head injury to drive an hour home? If memory serves, it was. Do not act like you knew it was Regan the whole time, because no one knew. I only knew at the end when I saw my mark sitting on her shoulder. Maybe I saw what I wanted to see, but I still love Raven. I always thought that she was cute, but she was off limits when we were growing up. Graham and Regan had it out for her. There was nothing that I could do about it, I told him. I will be damned if this jerk thinks that he will just blow past his own FK up, and just point out mine. Brandon hits me with his shoulder trying to push me away from Raven. I allowed him to hit me, as I gently pushed Raven up and away from us. I am just fine with this. He needs a little attitude adjustment anyway. I stood up quickly and Brandon did as well, as Olivia pulled Raven back from us both. Truett also jumped up and pulled Stella back away from us as I smiled at Brandon and motioned him to take his best shot. He is going to need his A game because the only thing I did at Silver Blade was train. Brandon growled again and swung at my face. I managed to lean back and it missed, but not by much. I returned the shot and managed to connect. Apparently, he wasn't anticipating me to retaliate as quickly as I did. Brandon reached out and grabbed me and rammed me into the wall behind us, and the next thing I know, Beta Timothy and my dad were pulling us apart. My back hurt, and 2 pictures were knocked down in the scuffle. Is this how you two get along? Are we going to even be able to make a video with you two included in it, without a fight breaking out? Brandon, you started it. I asked you to be patient. You already know that she feels the mate bond with both of you. I know that this is not ideal, for any of you. I cannot imagine having to share my Olivia with anyone else, and I hate it for you, and Justin. But I am telling you that as far as we know right now, this is what the goddess wants. Do you want to lose her? Stop it right now, let us get this war with Silverblade complete, and then we will go from there. We will figure this out, but for now, I told you both that Raven doesn't need to be under any stress, and if you two think I won't engage with you to settle you down, you are wrong. I will always have Raven's best interest at heart. So settle down, right now, or you can both go outside and get it out of your system, but you won't be doing it in here, Alpha Cole said, and we both stop. We can't afford to piss our new father-in-law off. Chapter 57 Brandon's POV. I am going to kick this jerk, say *s. He cannot just show back up and get right back to being her mate. How can that possibly be fair? He messed up, and he lost her. That was before I even knew her. He cannot be mad at, or blame me, for any of this. He was rejected before I even scented her. She was free to be my mate. He was done. She cannot be serious that she feels the bond back with him. This is ridiculous. I am feeling sick about this. If only I had listened yesterday, I would have made absolutely sure that this DG never got anywhere near my mate to even see her. I mean, I would have had to let her dad and Beta onto my Pac-land to check on her, but Justin would have had to stay in the SUV, like the dog he is. He cheated on her, and he doesn't deserve a second chance. Right, and you do. I heard Axe come through in our link. I love her, I linked him back. He does too, you saw the video. Their bond had been broken, and Raven herself told you that it was back, not 100%, but back again. That is not something that she, or he, could have done. That is some next level power. Your pride is just taking a hit here. It will be just fine. Emerald has been talking to both me and Lorne about this. We can all sense that we are supposed to be mates. The reason is coming as soon as you humans can calm down. Usually, it is us causing the aggressive behavior, but it is you two humans doing it this time, Axe tells me. He is right. It is me and Justin butting heads on this. Raven has been calm, and she needs to stay calm after her trauma. I wince at the thought of what I had done. I bumped him deliberately because I was mad at Cole and the council member, thinking that it was just going to be fine for him to lay a claim to Raven. My pup needed to be protected, and apparently from me. Justin was the one to think about Raven and our baby. I will calm down. I can do better. My anger and frustration are clearly out of control, and I need to rein them in, right now. If I go too far, she will reject me. I know for a fact if something I do causes her to lose the baby, that she might leave me. I need to make sure that the pup and Raven stay safe, and with me. I am sorry, Raven. That was my fault for being jealous and bumping Justin. Thank you, Justin, for getting her, and our pup, safely out of the way. I was angry and frustrated, as I don't know what is going on right now with the three of us being tied together, I told them, and then ran my hand through my hair. I was really going to fight with him in this enclosed space, with 2 pregnant she-wolves. I don't know what I was thinking. I see Alpha Cole, Raven, and Justin all looking at me stunned, and I guess they didn't think that I was going to calm down so quickly. They also didn't expect the apology either, but I was sincere in it. Justin did what I didn't think to do, and took Raven out of the way so she wouldn't get hit. What if I had knocked her down? What if she hit her head again? Goddess, I cannot take a chance of her being hurt again. I just can't, so for the sake of my mate and pup, I will make peace, until we figure this out. But, until we have unimpeachable confirmation, I do not want her to seal their alleged bond. I would prefer it if she didn't touch him ever again. I do know though that if she said she felt it, was being honest, and did feel it. I know that she hated him for what he did to her. She wouldn't lie about that, but this is a terrible situation. I just can't handle this right now. She is my mate, and I want her, but if he has a bond too, he wants her as well. I will have to see how this plays out. I will have to get with the elders tonight to see if they have found anything on it. I remember the name the councilman mentioned. I have heard of King Lycon before. Not all of the rumors were good ones about him, but they had all noted him as very smart, and very strong. He wanted to make his children some of the strongest around and made great efforts in attempting to create impeccable genetics for his bloodline to continue to improve throughout the years. His descendants were very strong with several different lines. He had created a line of Zeta and Sigma wolves, and clearly, Justin's father is still a highly capable Beta. I see Justin is just as strong as his father is, but I just didn't know why he has to be Raven's mate anymore. I don't like the feelings I am getting over this. I am fearful that she will leave me, and reject me, because of what I said to her when I thought that she had cheated. I said some pretty bad things to her when I was so upset. I lift her hand up to kiss the back of it. I don't want to lose my mate. I need her to know that I love her, and I want her. Things have now settled down a great deal in the room, and I am seeing that the bulk of the anger and frustration had been coming from me. Alpha Cole had the extra people head out of the office now as we were going to do the video now. There were 6 of us total left inside the office. It was Alpha Cole, Raven, Justin, and I in front of the camera. Beta Timothy filming us, and Justin's dad Randolph, who was here probably just to keep his eye on me. I don't blame him, I put Justin into the wall pretty hard. I intentionally used a lot of strength when I did it, as I was trying to hurt him, and the wall was going to need some work done to repair it. The video was going to be done in a few parts and then edited into what was going to be sent out. So we just sat there in the background, and we each held one of Raven's hands, while Alpha Cole spoke into the camera, and gave Graham the cold hard truth. That he was already surrounded, and that Reagan's actions in the video yesterday got the council to approve war between Bloodwalker and Silver Blade. Alpha Cole also announced in the video that he will be taking over the Silver Blade pack land himself. With every sentence he spoke, he made it clear to tell whoever hurt Raven at Silver Blade, it would be in their best interest to leave the pack if they survived the war. He made absolutely sure that he covered the part about whoever had shared the original video of Raven and Justin needed to share this one too. I am sure they will. What he was saying was shocking, and he was very clear about what was about to happen. We took a break, and Raven stood up. She needed to go to the bathroom, and we both wanted to go went with her. She stopped and said, "I am okay to go by myself. I am safe here. This pack knows the truth." Raven then exited the room. I knew that was a dig at me and my pack, and I swear if she gives me another chance I will make sure that I always listen to her first. I will never allow anything else to make me think badly about my mate. I can feel the disappointment and hurt that she is feeling. The anger is not there anymore. I think that she understands after seeing the video that I really did think it was her. But she was right. If we had talked it out, we could have cleared it up right then. My pack does think badly of her now, and I know I need to fix it, right now. I mind-linked Truett and told him to have his father, and my father hold a town hall meeting as soon as they can today. I need them to announce to the pack the clarification of who was in the video. I also need them to tell the pack that we will be involved in a war with Silverblade because Reagan tried to set up Raven with the video. I also want them to share the second video like they did the first one, in just the werewolf community. Some may already know that we are going to war, as I have warriors heading this way to help. But the whole pack would not be aware of it yet, just the warriors. I let him go so I can link the elders to see what they have found. It has been 5 hours, they should have found something by now. We found 2 instances of this noted in our history, but there were more than that. I reached out to a friend who is one of the senior elders that the council works with. He said that they are already working on it, but that there were several more cases that were not noted in their archives. This has happened about 4 times total, and if that is what is going on with you and your mate, you will be the 5th couple total, the 3rd documented couple. He would not give me the full results. He said that it was the council's business and they were only allowed to give the results to the council. That is a very small amount of mates that this has happened to, especially since the beginning of our time. It is rare for unrelated males to be bound to the same mate, the elder told me. I don't understand it, and I asked him to look into the why behind it. I would want to know why, if it were me. I think he understood and he said that he would have someone look into that aspect of it for me. He then said that the council had just been given the requested information. He said that he would look into the why of it for us, and get back to me with the results the elder had told me before dropping the call. There has to be something major factor in it. Sure enough, about 3 minutes later Alpha Cole entered the room with council member Emerson. I already basically know what they will be saying, and it is not going to be good news for me. I watch as Justin and Raven enter the room behind them, hand in hand. I swear he can't keep his hands off of her. I have to calm myself down. I am going to have to accept that this is what the goddess wants. It hits me what Axe said earlier. All 3 of our wolves are okay with it. He is right, it is just our human sides fighting about this, and our male egos are causing the bulk of the problem. I need to ask Raven, as she is at the center of this. I know that Emerald is a strong wolf. We need to ask her if she knows any more about this than we know at this time. As soon as we sat back down in our chairs, I went ahead and asked her. Raven, does Emerald know why we are all bound together? It seems like our wolves are all fine with it. They seem to know more than we do about it in fact. Is there a reason, or any information that Emerald can give us? I asked her and she was silent for about 5 minutes while speaking to her wolf. I see her eyes clear up and she looks stunned. I noticed that everyone in the room had been watching her and were waiting to hear the results of what she was about to say. When she finally spoke she was hesitant to say it, but I already knew after Axe said that the wolves were okay with it, that we 3 were already bound together in this, whatever this is. She said that we are a strong wolf, with special gifts. That I had been created and blessed by the goddess herself to have 2 simultaneous mates. She said that once I am marked by my second true mate, then I will be able to see the same visions as she does now. She also said that I am not a healer, but I will heal at a much quicker rate and that my hearing, strength, and speed will increase. She said that will also happen to my 2 mates, as well. She said that a war is coming, not one with Silverblade, but a much more serious one in about 2 decades. The children that we bear will have a substantial impact on the upcoming war. Emerald said that our pups would also carry on the strong traits I just mentioned that we would be receiving. That each one of them would be given a special gift in addition to the other benefits. She said that the goddess blessed this union, as it was not only our pup that we are carrying now involved in this, but several of them. She also mentioned that forces against us will know who we are already, and that it will take you both to keep me and our pups safe, Raven told the silent room. That was very intense, what she just said. I got chills hearing it. That was an incredible prediction to be told. I want to know more about who we need to be watching out for. I can tell that she is going to have to allow Justin to mark her. Clearly, as she mentioned multiple children, Justin will be the father of some of them too. I can see where Raven will need to be protected now, and this makes even more sense to me now. How he is always wanting to be with her. I will still have to run the pack. There will need to be a great deal of planning to be done, and reinforcements to our pack to be made. But I can tell that this was intended. I would never be able to run the pack worried for Raven and her safety all the time. This way Justin can be with her and protect her while she does her duties. When she does need to leave the pack, we can all go together with a team to protect her and the pups. Obviously, the goddess had put great thought into this. I am proud to be one of the ones chosen to protect her. I just don't know how I will be able to control my jealousy over this whole thing. Did she mention who the danger will be coming from, or any names? I just want to keep you safe while we prepare for this war that is coming. I completely believe what Emerald said, and I am proud that she picked me to be one of your chosen mates, I told her and leaned over to give her a kiss. This makes me feel a little better about the whole thing. I believe that it will help me be able to accept that she is to be with us both. A lot of the confusion is lifting now that Emerald had told us this. I wish I hadn't had to ask her. I wish that she had told us. This could have prevented some of the conflicts that we had this morning. No, she said that we would be given visions ahead of time, but that their plan has already been put into action. All I know is that it will be at least 2 strong packs that are coming and that it will be an intense battle. But she didn't have the names. She said that the goddess will reveal it all to us at the right time, Raven told us. I can see the serious faces of Alpha Cole, Beta Timothy, and Council Member Emerson, and I have to say that I am in a state of disbelief too. Not that I don't believe Raven and Emerald, I absolutely do. They will be absolutely prepared for this battle in terms of money, weapons, and training themselves in 20 years' time. I feel bad for our children having this heavy burden already on their shoulders from birth. All we can do is train them as best as we can, from a young age, and prepare them for what is coming. I see that Justin is also visibly upset about hearing this. I wonder if he is just as concerned for his pup's future as I am, and I am sure that he has to be. I guess that the mix of both of our descendants is what will be needed to defeat the enemy. Justin is clearly strong, and I am wondering what kind of talents he has other than his ability to piss me off. I can see he is a protector, that he stays calm, a lot calmer than me. He may have tactical training that may come in handy. I guess I now have a new Delta for Blackadder, as he clearly has to come back with us to the pack. I will have to start keeping a better eye on stronger packs and increase our land. I am already making some serious plans. I have to protect my mate and our children. I guess it will have to be all our children in this situation, as we will all need to make sure that nothing happens to any of them. This was a pretty big bomb dropped, but I can say that with what Emerald just told us, I am much more accepting of Justin at this time. We will just have to figure it out together. Chapter 58 Raven's POV. It is still tense in here, but it is a different kind of tense now. It is no longer about the 3 of us anymore. It is about an upcoming war that none of us knew anything at all about. The goddess is clearly on our side of the fight, as she was the one to give Justin and me our bond back. That was unheard of just by itself, as well as having 2 unrelated mates. It was known that multiples could have one mate, but for the males to be unrelated was virtually unheard of. I already know that the pack is going to go wild hearing it and that we would probably be talked about, and not in a good way. I don't know why I didn't think to ask Emerald about this last night. I guess with everything that happened yesterday, I never thought to do it. I was just worried about my pup, and if they were okay. I am glad that Brandon asked me to reach out to her, but she knew the answer. Why didn't she just mention it earlier? She knew the kind of stress we were all under about this whole situation. Why didn't she volunteer it to me, along with some of her snarky comments? It made perfect sense now, the reason why Justin could sense me, even before the bond was accepted. How he never got over me and prayed for the goddess to give him another chance. I think that he knows he messed up, and I think that he will be so thankful to get another shot, that he will never betray me again. Justin and Brandon both have a tight grip on my hands and they are both seriously deep in thought. I already know that Brandon is completely thinking about increasing training and security at his pack. This means Justin is definitely coming back with us, to Blackadder, and now I need to think about the marking. I guess I need to have another little talk with Emerald again. How is this marking thing going to go? Justin will mark you on the other side of your neck. You will bear both of their marks. When Justin marks you and completes the mating, you will immediately receive your gifts, your mates will too. The goddess is ready to give them to you as soon as you are ready to accept Justin and allow the bonding to be completed. Emerald mind links me. Okay, good to know. I will relay that to Brandon, and Justin tonight. Will his marking me hurt the baby I am carrying, Emerald? I linked her back. I know she loves the baby too, but it isn't like she is just giving out pertinent information. I just needed to know to make sure. The goddess protected you both last night. She was also the reason that Justin was able to sense you to find you in time. She took care of you because you are valuable to her, and so is your pup. She needs you, and them, to defeat these vile packs. They want to overturn the council and go back to the old hierarchy. They want Omegas to be servants, and breeders, again. They wanted the ranked wolves to be revered. Their end goal is to try to rule over all the other supernaturals. Eventually killing all the other supernaturals off, leaving only werewolves. They cannot be allowed to be successful. Emerald told me in our link. I have to pass this information on as well. We will be needing help when the time comes if that is what their plan is. We will need to work around it. We will need to create alliances with other species to defeat them. I shudder at trying to find witches and vampires that we can trust. Fairies and demons are rare to be able to trust. Fairies are known tricksters, and it is hard to find a demon that is good or more specifically is willing to trust and work with us. Not saying that they don't exist, they do. Finding one that we can fully trust to help us, is going to be the really hard part. We need to finish the video, so we can edit it, and send it out. I wanted to get it out at noon. Most will be on lunch and see the video, and I want it to be shared just as much as the first video. So the question is, now that we know that you are indeed a trio. Brandon, are you okay with Justin going ahead and marking Raven? I know this is hard for you, Raven, but clearly, this is bigger than any of us, my dad said. I know where he is going with this. Justin's mark will disappear from Reagan's shoulder once he marks me as his mate. That will be the first indication that there was a problem for Reagan. She may just assume that it was because Justin had been killed, by Brandon. But Dad is right, people make mistakes when they are upset, and she will be really upset seeing the mark on me. I almost wish I could be a fly on the wall to see her face when she sees that I now have my true mate back, and I still have Brandon. I am quite sure that a lot of women will be, with me getting not one, but two, very desirable mates. Plus, it will let Alphagram know that we are coming. I predict a very sleepless night for all of them. I don't like it, but it is out of my hands at this point. Alpha Cole. My pack, my mate, and my children might be killed if we don't do as the goddess requests. I know that there is no way around it for us. I think that it will show everyone who sees this video that we are a united front and that our union has been blessed by the goddess herself. If not, Raven would not be able to bear both of our marks, Brandon said, and I can tell how upset he is with even saying the words. He is acknowledging to the world that whether he wants Justin to be bonded to me or not, the fact remains that it is out of our hands. Raven, are you willing to accept Justin? My father asked me. I am struggling as I remember like it was yesterday finding out that he had betrayed me with my sister. Seeing him with my sister in the forest, I still carry a lot of pain from it. It was yesterday, Raven. Remember the video that came out yesterday? I heard Emerald in my link. I want to growl at her in anger. I swear she thinks that she is a comedian. I know she is trying to get me to laugh, but this was serious to me. Why is she reminding me of the most recent betrayal? I can tell she thinks that it is a lot funnier than I do, as I don't think it is funny at all. Our wolves are much more accepting of S*X than our human side is, it is a part of life for them. It hurt more to discover them together than it was to see it in that video, and you know that, Emerald. I could tell in the video that he really did think that it was me that he was with. I could see the love and affection that he had for me. But hearing what he said to her, that he got the better sister, that still hurts. I linked back to her. You know in his heart he loves you. Stop holding his mistake against him. He was tricked, it happens to all of us. Brandon was tricked, and yet you are still perfectly happy being with him. They both have made mistakes. Reagan was at the root of both of them. Let's just get her taken care of, and move forward. Justin will never hurt you again. Lorne has shown me how badly Justin was hurt over losing you. You will feel it too when he marks you, all his pain, his longing for you. You know this has been blessed by the goddess. There is nothing else we can do about it other than to accept it. Emerald linked me back. Raven. I am brought out of linking with Emerald by Justin's voice full of pain. He is worried that I am going to reject him again. I can hear the fear of losing me in just that one word. I am okay with being marked by Justin, I told the room. I heard a collective sigh of relief from several. I felt Brandon's hand tighten on mine. I know that Brandon is really upset by this, and I just hope that we can all get past it, together. Otherwise, this is not going to be a successful venture at all. I know that he is not 100% behind this, but I did feel the tingles. I know that the goddess was the one to put our bond back together for us. Brandon holds my hand as Justin stands up to get in front of me, and I pulled the strap of my sports bra over so he can get access to where his mark will lay. Brandon holds my hand as Justin allows his canines to elongate as he hovers over me, taking in a deep breath of my scent. I feel his teeth pierce my skin, and the pain is immediately gone and all that is left is the feeling of pleasure. I moaned out loud as Justin retracted his teeth from my skin, and starts to lick my wound. That resulted in another moan slipping out, and Brandon's hand tightening in frustration at my arousal that now can be scented in the room. Justin gives me a smirk as he sits back down in his chair, proud of his artwork that is still red and angry on my shoulder. Taking my hand back in his and giving my hand a little squeeze. The tingles are much stronger now. They are on par with what I feel from Brandon, and I am amazed at the feeling. I get Brandon to release my hand, and it is clear he doesn't want to because I need to mark Justin now to complete our marking. I close my eyes so I don't have to look into his excited face. He is blissfully happy about this, and I am fighting myself over it. I know it is the greater good here, but every time I close my eyes I see him with my sister. It has become a bitter memory in my head. I guess shutting my eyes was a mistake. I open my eyes and he is not happy anymore, he is sad, as he can feel my emotions now that he has marked me. He knew what I was thinking and I could tell that it greatly upset him. The guilt is pouring off of him, and I haven't even marked him yet. That helps me as I take in his scent and Emerald takes over to complete the bond, as she sinks her canines into his shoulder. I instantly feel his feelings, and it overwhelms me. His remorse for what he did to me, and anger at being tricked over and over again by Reagan and Graham. I see each and every step that led him to where we are, and with the exception of his fear over having to fight the whole pack on a daily basis to protect me, he did want me as his mate. I see where he did try to come to get me from Bloodwalker the next day. I never knew as I was meeting for the first time with Dad. After Dad had heard what Justin had done to me, he told them to send him away. I am good with giving him an actual second chance now. I guess tonight that feels weird saying when we go to bed, we can talk and get a few things straight between us. I need to tell them about how they both messed up, and now we need to reset that to be behind us, and just move on from this day forward. No more arguments over who hurt me worse than the other. Because the true answer was that they had both made some pretty big mistakes as far as I was concerned. From now on what we needed to do is be a united front and show our pack that they are both my goddess-given, true mates. No matter what the jealous she-wolves thought about it. They were both mine now, and I will not be allowing anyone to slide up on either of them. Let them try, they will be in for a big surprise. Emerald linked me. Let's finish the video then, my dad said, and we started recording again. It was cute when Dad had me stand up to show the proof that I didn't have a mole. They both didn't want to let go of my hands. I rolled down the waistband of my leggings and held my arms up and made 2 slow turns. I had just rolled my waistband back into place to sit down when they both took an arm to help me back into my chair, with a low growl. That was for the camera, they were letting any men watching the video know that I was taken. I almost laughed at their reaction, but it felt good to be protected by both of them. I can feel the bond already growing with just our sitting here together. The guys now feel that I have affection, and love, for them both. They are both very calm. Brandon spoke and mentioned to the world about us being mates, and that I was pregnant with his pup. He puffed up in pride at announcing it and then told his pack to make sure that they shared the video with the same people they shared the first one with. He is trying to get my reputation cleared for me. He already knows how hard it is going to be back at Blackadder. He was fierce in his defense of me and told everyone watching the absolute truth. That he never felt the pain of betrayal, that he only saw the video, and Reagan looked so much like me, that it broke his heart. That he momentarily believed the video until the lack of pain was pointed out, then the lack of a mole was the second tip-off. He didn't mention that it wasn't him who discovered it, and I was okay with it, just as long as it got everyone to realize that it was not me. He also told that he was participating in the war with Silverblade and that anyone who stood with them, would automatically be considered an enemy of Blackadder. Justin was much more aggressive in his part of the video. He was furious about Reagan doing this to us. He told the whole story from start to finish. It was shocking to hear, and I knew the story already. He made Reagan and Graham look like the villains that they truly were. I was worried that the video would not be shared like the first one because it was literal PN. But I saw with all the stunning bombs that Justin was dropping it was going to go viral too. He told everything that had happened to him, and even laid out some things that were not known facts outside of Silverblade. We all sat in stunned silence as Justin came clean with everything he knew about Alpha Graham and Reagan. He was making sure that no one was going to come to their aid to help such disgusting people when we attacked. I think because it was two big packs already at war with Silver Blade, they wouldn't be stepping in to help them already. Justin was making sure that everyone was made aware of just how vile they really were. Justin made sure to not mention what I had gone through at Silver Blade. I guess he is allowing me to share if I wanted to. My turn was last. I decided that I was going to mention all that they had done, or allowed the pack to do to me, while I was growing up. I was not going to allow this opportunity to pass, for me to take my power back from them. They had suppressed me for long enough, and it was time that everyone know who the Sullivans really were. I was honest and kept eye contact as I told them what I had dealt with. The emotional and physical abuse, only being allowed to go to school, my room, and meals. I was a prisoner in my own home, and that was a pretty bad crime in itself. Now that I have gotten a good taste of freedom, I know I cannot go back and be locked up again. But I needed everyone to know who Reagan was, who she was at her core. So I told the story of what happened on the bridge, how my sister was so power-hungry, she was willing to kill me to become Luna. I didn't even know that I was crying until I felt a gentle hand wiping my tears away. It was Justin, and my pain had made him cry too. I forgot he had been heading that way when she did it. He saw the whole thing. I imagine that it is hard for him to hear me mention it now that we are mates. That makes sense to me how the goddess protected me in that situation as well. Almost everything that they tried to hide away from all the other packs, and from the council, has been exposed in this video. After me being announced as my father's daughter at the ball, people figured out pretty quickly what exactly had happened, as Graham and Cassandra were chosen mates. It was only a secret in their own pack, or at least their pack members still pretended like they didn't know. I can imagine how mad they are going to be when they saw this, let alone when their pack sees this video. They are going to lose their minds, as their reputations were now completely destroyed. That was what he valued most in his life, how things looked to others. They will die knowing that their reputation was in tatters and that they only have themselves to blame for all of it. I'm so pissed off. Man, I don't give a FK what Justin went through before all the even happened. Did everyone really just forget he knew they were mates even before anyone else? Forget he was going along with them because he didn't want her and was embarrassed to have her, from the beginning? He said so himself. How are you gonna make the gods have her hear that and force her hand like this? I know it's just a book, but tighten the FK up. Chapter 59 Graham's POV. I have had no success in getting any packs to become allies with us. In fact, I had 2 of the 6 packs that we still had treaties with, who called me in the last hour. They both told me that they were tearing up their treaties and not to call them for help. Help in what? They were weak and I don't need them anyway. I am really angry now as I entered to grab my lunch and then head back to my office. I still had a lot of work to do, and while Blackadder and Bloodwalker were at each other's throats, I needed to get this done. I could tell that people were really anxious when I entered the room, probably because they can sense that I am pissed. They probably feel it, and it does make people nervous when their alpha is upset. I grabbed a plate and a drink and I went to exit when one of my pack members looked like he wants to approach me with his phone in his hand. I don't now have time for this and gave him a look as he approached and said, I am busy. I don't have time to talk right now, and kept on going. He nodded and took back off to the table he came from. I know it was rude, but I actually was busy, and I can deal with him later. How important could it be anyway? That was a low-level member, so he can just wait. I got back to my office and got back to work, but 5 minutes later I heard an insistent knock on my door. I told them to come in, and Silas entered followed by a group. His family and mine are now all in my office, and they look worried. Silas didn't even speak, he just handed me his phone and I clicked on the video showing on the screen. I had to sit back down. I was stunned. In just an 8-minute video, my whole world was destroyed. Did you check to see if he was serious? I asked Silas. Yes, I had warriors go to check the whole perimeter. None of us will be getting out of here. They have an SUV parked in front of the gate. The gate can open, but the truck is inches from the end of the gate. No one will be able to drive out of here unless they want you to. Also, if you try to cross the border, they are already posted there as well. I went out myself and checked. They are serious. They are attacking us tomorrow, and that announcement has got the whole pack worried, Silas told me. No wonder the pack members in the dining hall were worried. They had all seen the video. Alpha Cole is pissed, and I am sure he is going to carry this out. We need to make a plan up. We need to get out of here under the cover of darkness, that is our only hope. I don't know if we can all escape, but we have to try. Silas, go and have the men note where the warriors are stationed on the packs to our east. We will have to try to escape after nightfall. That is our only chance. It looks like the only pack members who will be allowed to stay are the ones who didn't seriously hurt Raven. Most of the pack is guilty, and it was by my allowing it, and not punishing them that they did it. We are not safe here either, as I am sure they would love to pay me back for getting them in danger and putting them in this situation. We need to come up with a battle plan, something for us to do so we can get out of here. I think that we need to get our vehicles loaded up with our stuff. Have 2 families drive them out of here, and then leave them at a chosen spot on the Blue Moon Pack's perimeter. 1 for us, and 1 for you, with the keys left in them. That way we can try to get away. We can use the cover of darkness to try to get to the road and our vehicles. That would be our best bet, I told the group. I don't know if any of our members will be able to do that, Graham. Right now, with all the fear that is going on in the pack, if we did do that, I can see them driving off in our SUVs going to find another pack to live in. I mean, I would. From what I have heard, you were pretty good about letting everyone take a shot at Raven. I am sure that they will be prepared to stop us if we did try to escape, Silas fired back. He is scared, and rightly so. This whole thing is a mess and came too quickly. I honestly thought that Brandon would kill Raven in a fit of rage, and they would be after each other. How are they so calmly sitting there? This is complete BT. She has 2 mates now, Dad. She took my mate. That is not fair. I want him back, Reagan pouts. You were the one to use him to piss Brandon off. You were dead set against him, and going to get another mate. What happened to those plans? Let me guess, you saw him with Raven and wanted him more? Grow up. We are trying to get out of this alive. You ladies go get packed. I need to try to see how we can even salvage this, I told her and Cassandra. The women were all upset, they were crying at different levels and understandably scared. Reagan is crying the loudest, almost wailing in her frustration. I know that it is because she feels like she deserves Brandon and Justin. She is mad because Raven managed to not get killed, and even got ahead of Reagan again. I swear Cole did this to cause my last day to be the worst ever, but if he thinks that he is going to kill me so easily, he is wrong. I had a way to get us out of here, but I wasn't going to tell the whole group about it. Silas, I have a way to get the vehicles to be put out there where we can get to them, and can depend on them to help us. But we will have to fight our way out of Blue Moon. I will help, and I will bring my weapon too. We need to get far away, and we need to make plans, strong ones if we want to get out of this alive. We cannot be here tomorrow. I know Cole, he is serious about what he said, he is not going to allow us to live. Our only hope is to get out of here, and I think that dusk will be the best time to go. They will expect us to leave after dark, and their numbers might increase for the nighttime, as that is the best time to get away. I will have vehicles left for us on an old access road on Blue Moon property. It is going to cost me some money, but at least I can guarantee that the vehicles will be there. Go pack up, and think of a place for all of us to go. You know that we will need one that is safe for us all to be accepted into the pack. We will need to be able to be kept hidden for a while, I told Silas. He nodded and left. They have to have faith in us, and he knows people that I don't. He has more shady contacts than I do. I have to keep everything above board as an alpha. Well, I used to be an alpha, goddess knows what I will be soon. I don't 100% trust him, but right now it is just the six of us, against the world. I will have to have faith in him for now and pray for the best. I will have the SUVs hidden and already packed up with the women's items. I cannot take a chance on someone sending my stuff in there. That way the bulk of our stuff will already be secured in the area I was talking about. It is almost completely hidden, and it led to the old wells that we used to have to get water from several decades ago. With the new pack houses having running water, you no longer needed to have to pump it or use buckets to get drinking water. But the road remained, and the wells were secured to prevent tampering. I used to meet some of the Blue Moon unmated she-wolves there back in the day. I never thought that I would be going there again, especially in this time of being in desperate need of help. I already knew who I was going to have to use to get us out of here. I just hope that Cassandra doesn't want to kick up any issues with this. If she does, it will have to be done after the fact, because we won't have time for a fight when we get to the truck. I went ahead and mind-linked the friends that I was going to get to do this for me. I already know that this will end up costing me plenty anyway. They will be taking a big risk themselves, but I will need some of the money in my safe for us to use to get away from here. I cannot trust any other alpha friends or packs to help us, not after that video. I saw how many shares it had. It had only been released a short time ago, yet it was moving on up and had already gone viral too. I need to find a place that will take us in, and it will be much easier for Silas and his family. They were gamma ranks, and as an alpha, I was kind of screwed. No other alpha would be able to trust me to not try to come in and take over his pack. I have already decided that I didn't need to run anything anymore. I just need to be hidden from sight, along with my family. I can earn my keep for my family. I was willing to do it to keep them safe. I heard a knock at the door and called for them to enter. My girlfriends were all standing across the desk from me now. I am going to miss them, but I am sure I will find some others wherever I end up going. I can see that they are stressed too, but they already have a safe place to go. I bought a condo in the city about 5 years ago for us. It has 4 floors to it, the top 3 floors were each a master and en suite. That way I never had to hear the jealous arguing between them all. The rooms were all set up the same, only the colors and decor were different. They each have their own suite, and when we got time together, we would be able to just go up to whose turn it was. It has worked out well before and kept Cassandra from being upset with no flirting or any improper behavior here at Silver Blade to disrespect her, and her position in the pack. Cassandra is my number one, she is the most important to me. After years of trying and failing to have more pups, she becomes less and less interested in having S*X with me. I always suit up with my girlfriends, but that wasn't to stop pregnancy, it was because Cassandra was the only she-wolf that I ever slept with not using protection. Our relationship has become more strained through the years until finally last year she blew up at me. It was because I had forgotten her birthday and been with another. She had never mentioned knowing about my girlfriends before, but after I caused her to feel the pain of it on her birthday, she was livid. I never knew she felt it. I always thought that since we were chosen mates, she wouldn't know about my other women. I was wrong, she felt it every time, she just never said anything to me, until she finally lost her temper. I actually felt terrible about it. I never felt it on her end, so I just assumed that she couldn't feel it either. I just assumed that as beautiful as she was since I had girlfriends, she must have a guy on the side too. She set me straight, I have backed off from my girlfriends ever since, but I still have occasional dates with them. Just never on her birthday, or our mating anniversary. What did you need, Alpha? You have never asked us into your office before. Kelsey purred at me. She is thinking that I asked them here for fun, and I need to set her straight. She has red hair, and green eyes, and is a beautiful girl, with a fiery personality. The most forward, and attention-seeking, of the three. I saw the video, is it true, Alpha? Madison asked me. I can hear the fear in her voice. Her brown hair and hazel eyes show how scared she is. The smartest of the three, I like to talk to her after we are together. Alpha, I think we need to get out of here, Lisa told me. Her dark hair was up in a ponytail, and her grey eyes are sharp. She is the most street smart, and she already knows why I called them to my office. I can depend on her the most, and she will be taking the lead in this. I need to ask a last favor from you ladies. I will need you to do something for me, and in return, I am signing over the deed to the condo, and giving you one of the packs of SUV. I will also be giving you each some living expenses. You can either live there and find jobs in the city or sell the condo and try to find another pack to take you all in. That will be entirely up to you. I will need just a little help in return, I told the group. So it is true? We are going to be attacked tomorrow? Madison asked, and I nodded at her. What do you need us to do, Alpha? Lisa asked me. Good, she is always direct and responsible. I already know that I can depend on her to get this done. They all have their strengths, and right now, I need her help the most for this to work. There is a war coming. I want you three to be safe, and I also need to be safe as well. I will need you three to each drive an SUV out of here for me. I will load up one of them to carry my family's items, and the Gamma family will do the same. We can't leave from the main gate, and we would have no way to be able to drive a vehicle out of here. I will tell you where to leave two of them for us to be able to escape. I will also call you to tell you where we end up. That way, if you wanted to come there, as an option of where to stay to be safe, I will be glad to do it. I just can't guarantee that you won't get your previous rank back. Some packs still have the Omegas do the worst of the work in their packs. I have to go where we will be safe, and right now I don't know where that will be, as everyone near us will already know that we are wanted. So it will limit the packs that are truly willing to take us in. Some of them might turn us over to keep from getting into a war with Bloodwalker too. I have to keep my family safe, I told them. But I thought you said that you were going to eventually leave your family, to stay with us. Why don't you just do that? We can sell the house and move away together. Kelsey said with a pout. She was really attached to me, and apparently believed the line that I was feeding her. I was never going to leave my family. Not for them. I did like them all, very much. But I didn't love any of them. Frankly, the only one of them that I fully trusted was Lisa. She had been with me the longest, and she knew the deal. She liked being with me, and the comforts that I could provide, but she knew that I loved Cassandra. Cassandra was the love of my life, even without the mate bond to bring us closer. I chose to be with her, and I would choose her over and over again to this day. I am sorry, plans changed. We need to get to safety, and I hope you three can be the answer to my prayers. I will need each of you to drive an SUV out of here. One driven by Kelsey will have all of your clothes in it. The other two will be empty. They will be searching through them when you exit, so don't get worried. They are looking for people, not clothes. I will need Madison and Lisa to drive the other two. I need them left at a spot in an outer area, just outside of the Blue Moon Pack. It is an access road, and it will lead to their old well area. Just park them right there at the beginning of the road. Just out of sight of the main road leading into the Blue Moon Pack land. I will give a map to Lisa, and you can just follow her. I will also give her a check for you three to be able to live quite comfortably if you don't make any major purchases. Can you do this for me? I will be forever grateful to you all. The pack will be safe, they are allowing people to leave if they want, to avoid the war. The people that Cole is after are the 6 of us. I just need to get us out of here. As quickly as possible, I asked them. I can see that Lisa and Madison were okay with doing it, and immediately in to help. But I can see the calculating way that Kelsey is looking at me. She doesn't even know how much I am giving her, and yet she wants more. I may have to readjust my plans. I can see that she is about to make a mistake here, and now is not the time for playing let's make a deal if I cannot trust her. I will have to ditch her. Ladies, I need to speak to just Lisa for now, please excuse us. She will have the plans and meet with you later to get them carried out. I will tell you each goodbye before you leave today. I smiled at them, and I can see the wheels in Kelsey's head turning. Yet, she is going to be a problem. I will have to make some adjustments. I mind link Silas. I need him to take care of this particular problem, while I speak to Lisa. I can't take any risks with this plan. This either works, or we die. The rest of the audiobooks will be uploaded in the next episode. Join us on Patreon to listen to more unlimited audiobooks. Or if you want to pay for more such audiobooks, you can send us a request in a private Facebook group, or join us on WhatsApp. A link is given in the video description.